Hi, welcome to this month's video segment, the Inner Circle Club. I'm really excited to be with you. We're going to focus on goals this month. We're going to cover 4 points in the beginning. I really want to make sure you understand clearly. Why is it important to have goals? And how do you set goals so they actually are set correctly? What are some of the pitfalls and traps that people fall into when they're setting goals? And then what are some steps you can take to make sure you actually achieve your goals? And we'll be spending a lot more of the year on that last one, but we'll give you some points to get started right away with that. The first thing we want to look at is why is it so important to set goals? You know, I found a statistic a number of years ago that said only 3% of people in North America, and I think it's true around the world, actually set goals. I also found a statistic that said 3% of the world's population owns 97% of the resources. I don't think there's not a correlation there. I think there is. And I think that those people who set goals are the people who become the most successful. I know that's been true for my life and the hundreds of thousands of students that I've trained around the world. So why is it so important to set goals? Because you want to be a winner. You want to be one of the people that gets what you want. And the first thing that happens when you set goals is it forces you to sit down and clarify what you really want. Most people never take the time to really sit down and intentionally plan out their life. They live a life of reaction rather than a life of creation, a life of intention. And so when you sit down to think about, well, if I'm going to set goals, what do I set them for? What do I set them about? You have to have some sense of what you want to create in your life. What's the ideal life that I want to live look like? What do I want in terms of relationships? What do I want in terms of health and fitness? How much money do I want to be bringing into my life? What impact do I want to have in the world? So we're going to be taking a look at all that. But the key thing is to sit down and take time. And I'm going to suggest that once you stop watching this video, you set aside at least a half hour, and better an hour, and sit and really start to think about, what do I want my life to look like? What do I want to experience? What do I want to do? What do I want to be? And what do I want to have? And you can look at this in any time frame at all. You can say, well, these are my lifetime goals. Like I want to be, you know, in the Speakers Hall of Fame, or I want to win an Olympic gold medal, or I want to retire with an investment fund of 30 million in my portfolio. Those are long-term goals. But you also want to have, you know, short-term goals. What do you want to accomplish in the next 5 years and in the next year? And think a lot about, what do I want to accomplish 12 months from now? Where do I want to be experiencing? You know, if we were sitting here a year from now saying, well, what would have to have happened for you to feel really, you know, proud and successful and pleased with the success you'd made in that year? So we can look at all those different time frames. But sit down and ask yourself, what do I want to experience? And one of the things that I teach people that's really powerful is that you can really look at all different areas of your life. And we're going to jump into that in just a few minutes. The other thing that's very valuable about goals is they give you a sense of potential, momentum, motivation. They give you a sense of direction in your life. A lot of people don't really have any direction. They're just responding to what other people want, the demands they place on them. You know, and I always say that people that don't have goals get used by people who do. People that don't have goals work for other people that have them. And my friend Jim Rohn once said something like, he said, you know, if you don't have goals, you're going to be part of other people's goals. And I can tell you what they have in mind for you is not much. So you want to be someone that's saying, here's what I want, and I'm going to go for it and create it and have it in my life.